Join the chat. Let's start the show.
Hello, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner. I am your amazing guest, Lindsey Vertner. And let me introduce myself, okay? Just in case you don't know who I am, maybe this is your first time tuning in. I am a peak potential strategist and transformational speaker. I teach female entrepreneurs and ambitious leaders how to master their mindset and increase their self-care, self-worth, and self-discipline. So that's what I do. You'll get to know me a lot as you follow me. But let me introduce my phenomenal guest on today that is sitting right here. Oh, you can't see my finger. There we go. So beautiful. Her name is Deborah Gardner, and let me tell you, she is amazing. She is a swimming champion, author, speaker, and competitive performance expert. She has a fast, funny, and fabulous style that captivates her clients. Deborah is a groundbreaking leader as one of the first female television broadcasters with CBS Sports and was just recently crowned Mrs. Arizona 2020. You may have seen her in TV commercials, on the runway modeling, or maybe you've heard her beautiful voice as a voiceover actress. But no matter what she's doing, she is always living her life in the fast lane. And I'm super excited to have her here tonight on the show. Welcome, Deborah. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I am thrilled because it's been about a year since you and I have seen each other.
Yes.
In Mississippi. So I am just excited that we finally got a chance to reconnect, especially during these crazy times we're in right now.
Yes. You guys, I'm sure we'll probably get into the story of how Deborah and I met, but let's just say it was all smiles and all laughs, and we are forever bonded.
Yes, absolutely. Wild, crazy, 3,000 women and us.
Yes. So I know I just told all this amazing things about you, but tell the people, who is Deborah really? Like, what gets you going? Where'd you really come from? Who is Deborah behind the scenes?
Well, we definitely have to have a drink over this. There definitely is a long story, and it all started when I was very young, living in a trailer. So my whole background of living in a trailer with 5 people, we're talking about 3 kids, my parents, so there were 5 of us in a 16-foot aristocrat trailer. So it was a very crowded, it was so crowded that our refrigerator was on the outside of the trailer. But I didn't get to grow up with my own bedroom or my own bathroom. I was always jealous of my friends. But at the same time, we had a lot of fun looking back, because as kids, you don't really know that much. And we actually thought we were celebrities, because we'd always say to our friends, step into my trailer. So we, growing up that way, I really developed some skills, life skills, that I never really knew that I had to actually learn. And a lot of it had to do with being organized, being patient, share with others, being disciplined, self-motivated, and definitely utilize the outdoors at the time. But I credit all that I have, who I am today, by actually living in that trailer.
Yeah. Wait. So you live in the trailer that you grew up in?
Well, yeah, no, not right now, but I feel like I do, because I live in the same house. But but yeah, I always had that mentality of a small trailer and keeping things, small and intimate and, close to my heart.
That
And yeah, that's what it's all about. And that's where I learned it from.
gotcha. I heard I'm still living there, and my mind went all the way the other way, and I'm like
Well, we do travel in trailers. We always rent trailers whenever we go anywhere, which is interesting because during all this craziness, where everybody's renting trailers now, and it's like that's what we always do. My husband and I, we love going places. He loves to bring the dog, and since a lot of the hotels that I'm either speaking at or traveling to might not accept dogs, so we're always traveling around in a trailer anyway. So my life is all surrounded around a trailer.
Nice. Now, how was it having your refrigerator on the outside of the house? Like, wait, first of all, what part of the U.S. did you grow up in where that was even able to function?
Well, I'm a Marine Brat. So, as a matter of fact, my husband and I just moved into another house in April, a couple months ago, and that was my 30th move in my life. So yeah, isn't that crazy? So I've moved around a lot of different places. So a lot of different, always being on the road, traveling roader, all the time with the trailer. So as a Marine Brat, I'm always used to change. I'm always used to trying something new and different. And I just believe in being very competitive with myself. And I think that's what competition's all about today. It's all about seeing what you can do yourself.
Yes. And I love that you said like you're open to change and can be flexible, because I think that holds a lot of people back when they have that fear of the unknown, or maybe something changes at work or something changes in their lifestyle and they have a complete breakdown because they aren't open to change. And it's like, oh my gosh, if everything doesn't happen just like this, then I'm losing my mind. So to people that are watching and they maybe have that type of personality, what type of advice would you give them?
Well, I'm glad you asked because you're absolutely right. It is one of the struggles with everyone each and every day is about change. And it's interesting because when you see what's going on around you throughout the world or your neighborhood or work or family, nothing changes until you change. Nothing changes until you change. And the only way to do that is to actually recognize 4 areas that help you change. First of all, you're going to go through some phases, and these phases that help you change is fear. Then you've got understanding, you've got action, and then recovery. So those type of phases allow you to understand, get you through the process of change. So first of all, let me break it down a little bit. Fear, we all have some kind of fear. And if you recognize that fear of what that is, you're going to start understanding it. You're going to be able to understand what that fear is and being more aware of knowing that it's there. And if you get to the chance to understand it, it might have to do with the fact of just talking about it, sharing what that change, that fear is that you're trying to change. It could be, Googling and getting some information on YouTube to understand what that fear is. So once you get to that understanding, all of a sudden things start lightening up for yourself and going, oh, okay, now I get it. So why not put something into action? This is where goals start getting to, you start setting some goals. And once you get into that action stage of you start seeing things develop and seeing going, wow, okay, this is not as fearful as I thought it would be. Then you're on the road to recovery. And that road to recovery is where you want to get to, because that is where it's going to start being smooth sailing for yourself. So it's about going through those 4 phases in order to change whatever it is that you're trying to change, or what you want to do, or what you want to be, in other words.
Are you guys catching all of that? I gave you some cliff notes right down there at the bottom of the screen. But if you missed something, please go back and watch the replay. If you are just tuning in, this is the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner and my beautiful guest, Deborah Gardner. She is an author and competitive performance expert. She is just awesome. We are going to learn more about her, but make sure you comment, love, share this video out. Comment down below. Let us know that you are here. We are all chatting together as the family and friends that we are. So grab your drink, join the chat, and please join us in this amazing conversation. So fear, yes, that is a big thing for a lot of people that just holds them back. And I love that you said, like, after they start to understand it and take action, they set some goals for themselves, because there's always those people that sometimes are like, oh, I don't set goals. I just go by the breeze of the wind. And that can be okay for the moment, but ultimately you have to guide where you want your life to be. And technically, you're always guiding where you want your life to be, whether you know it or not. So it's important that we put intention about where we're guiding our life. So what insight or advice would you have kind of in that area?
Well, I think it's a matter of not quitting. A lot of people get to a certain stage or point, and then all of a sudden, oh, I just can't do it. I'm done with it, and they move on. And I'm a big believer that you just got to keep trying. You just got to keep trying, and if you keep trying, things will come to fruition the way they're supposed to be. And as you mentioned earlier, I was just crowned Mrs. Arizona 2020, and now it looks like it's going to be 2021. It's a prime example because when I was 12 years old, being a little girl, I always wanted to be a princess or a beauty queen, or, you always watch those Miss USA, Miss America pageants on TV, and it's like, I want to be one of them. So at the age of 12, I actually competed in one. And at the time, though, being the big athlete that I am, big bone, big girl, I didn't realize what I was up against. I mean, there are some professional contestants that were in, me being there was an understatement. I should not have been there. I was not prepared. I did not have a coach, and I didn't know how to be a good teammate. Those three things is how you get better. And I just kind of went in there and winged it. And just like if the people who are just setting goals, not even setting goals, they're just winging it. See, if you wing it, you're going to get wing it results. So you might as well definitely plan and have a reason. Have a reason. Me at the age of 12, I wanted to feel like a pretty girl, and that was my reason to go into the pageant world. Well, of course, I flopped. I did not do well at all. I did not, I was all, had my hair up. I looked like I was 30 years old, and it just was not my thing back then. But it wasn't until last year where I posted on Facebook, and there was a pageant organization that contacted me going, have you ever thought about being in the pageant world? I'm like, oh yeah, let me tell you this story of this floppy girl. And it was just an awful story I had to share with them. They said, well, why don't you try again? And I thought, okay, well, I just turned 60, and I'm like, okay, who cares what anybody thinks of me? I'm going to do it and reach it and see what happens. But this time I had, the reason that I did it was because I wanted to prove to myself that I can get back up on that horse and try again. Just try again. And I thought, what do I have to lose? I'm thinking this could be kind of fun at the same time.
Yeah.
And that, plus I took it as a bet for my sister. So I thought, okay, why not try it? And sure enough, doggone it, it really happened. I call myself a winner that kept trying, a loser that kept trying, and all of a sudden won. And to my surprise, I went in it being true to myself, very authentic. just me, didn't have the hair up and the big gown. I just took something out of my closet, and the heels that I had in my closet, and I was just being me. And I think that is key. You really do have to be you, only you. And instead of trying to be, watching Extra or TMZ and trying to be all these celebrity people, and it's not who we are, or not who I am at least. And I just thought, I'm just going to go in there and first of all, I definitely practice. I practice interview questions, which I enjoy as a speaker being interviewed. And grabbed the great dress. I talked to some people. I did my research, and it really was, here we are. And if people stick around for this show, which I hope they are, I have a surprise to share with your viewers, everybody out there, Lindsey fans, something very special right toward the end of this show. So related to that story, but I really believe it's just a matter of trying and having a reason for the things that you want to do.
Yes, so true. And over here in the comments, Miss Cher says, yes, I caught it. Good stuff. Really good. And Miss Erin says, great advice. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you post your comments down below for Deborah. She is going to answer those live on the show later on. And it just has been so good already. We've already talked about fears and being yourself. I love that you said be you, because that is one of the things I talk about when I talk about living a first-class life, because oftentimes we put on these masks and we pretend to be different people for different people. It's like we put on one face for our significant other, and we put on another face for our coworkers or clients, and another face for our parents, and another face for strangers that we don't even know. And at the end of the day, that gets to be very exhausting, pretending to be this other person, if you will, all day long. So I absolutely love that you said that.
It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Now, Lindsey, you and I last year were in Mississippi. What a blast we had. and what comes with being who you are means, it's not about being perfect either. There are going to be some embarrassing moments. There's going to be learning curves as well. And if you remember, and I'm pretty sure you do, I did a shoe segment on stage where I actually displayed different types of shoes that we women always wear and what it means. Well, in the middle of it, I had the song, These Boots Were Made for Walking, song playing while putting on my boots. Well, I don't know if you remember, Lindsey, but I actually was putting on my boots and the zipper was not working. So here I am on stage with thousands of women, and trying to have that boot come up, from the zipper, and I just, again, flopped. But I had a great time. And that's going to happen. It's going to happen. So it's not a matter of trying to be perfect or trying to impress people, like you said. There's going to be embarrassing moments, and you know what? Actually, those are kind of the best moments that I remember.
Yes, because they make for great stories. And I was super excited that I did get to catch your speech because my speaking time was at a different time. And so I was like, oh no, am I going to be able to listen to the people that I want to? And it worked out perfect because we weren't booked in the same slot. And so I was able to hear you. And you did amazing. Like, most people, they probably didn't even catch that the zipper was not working because you just kept going and you made fun. Like, it was a nice lighthearted moment. Whereas, sometimes there are those people that have the personalities where if something goes wrong, all hell breaks loose and everybody knows because it's in their face. Their whole attitude changes. And most of the time, if you would have just played it off, most people probably wouldn't have known anyway.
No, not at all. Not at all. So I think it's just a matter of just, I always say, just wear your crown. Just wear your crown to the best of the ability for yourself, whatever makes you happy. We are in a life that is very short. It's very fragile. And you just have to make yourself happy. If you make yourself happy, other people around you will automatically become happy too.
Yes, and that is so true because happiness is infectious, but guess what? Misery is also infectious. So it's like, which type of infecting do you want to be?
Right. Take your choice. Take your choice. And failure is an option, but here's the thing: if you're afraid to fail, you'll never know what to learn. Because
Right,
that's the whole process of it.
right. Because you can't improve upon nothing. Like you
Yeah,
got to do something to figure out
yeah,
how you can get better and how you can grow and what you can learn and how
exactly.
you can pivot and
Yep, yep.
crazy,
Bottom line,
crazy.
that's what it's all about. All about.
Most successful people actually fail very often and all the time, but you just wouldn't know it because we keep going.
Actually, it's become a game for me. I actually mark on my calendar the times that I'm failing through the day, and I look at it and I go, okay, what happened, and why did it happen? And the best part about it is that I never make that mistake again.
Mhm.
So if you can really stop and think about what just happened and how you can improve upon it, um, you're going to be set the next time that comes back around.
Right, right.
Easily.
Because now you know what to do.
Should we
And
toast to that?
yeah, definitely. Let's
Should we
toast.
toast to that?
And since we're toasting, I think that this is just an absolute great time to find out exactly
What's in your cup?
yes. It is that time. Like you queued it up perfectly. It is that time of the show where we find out
So
what
cute.
Deborah is sipping on. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you post what you're drinking down in the comments. It could be water, it could be tea, it could be a little special ingredient in your drink. We don't judge, okay? It's your business. Post what you're drinking in the comments. And meanwhile, Miss Deborah Gardner, tell us what you are sipping on in your cup.
Okay, well, I wish you could see inside of it, but here in Arizona, we've been fighting about 54 days in a row of over 100 degrees. So yeah, in the morning, I always start my cup, which I was given when I became Mrs. Arizona. I just thought it was the cutest little thing. I usually have my juice, very healthy juice. But by the end of the day, I've got my Chardonnay.
And you have to hold your cup up again. So you got your cup whenever you became Mrs. Arizona 2020. And it's
Right.
crazy because I have the same set of cups, except I got mine when I became Mrs. Vertner 2009. And it's funny because guys, this was not planned at all, but she has her cup. And then today, so I had my Mrs. Right cup, Mrs. Always Right cup a couple episodes ago. And then today I was like, I'm going to embrace the masculine side. And so she has her cup. And then I have the Mr. Right cup. And she has Mrs. Always Right cup.
That is hilarious. That is just, I'm blown away by that. I have to take a picture of that, actually.
Yes. Even with all this time since we've last seen each other, that just goes to show that, like, when you are being your authentic self, you attract those that are meant for you because, again, this wasn't planned, yet we still complimented each other, right?
Absolutely.
And
That
today,
made a lot of sense.
in my cup, I have like a little potpourri of drink going on because I just kind of made something up today. I have some pineapple juice and some strawberry kiwi juice, and then I topped it off with some strawberry rum.
That sounds delicious.
Yes.
Wow, I like it. I wonder
Yes.
what your viewers are drinking. Are we hearing what they're drinking?
Yes. Miss Cher says, okay, so I'm drinking tequila tonight. Yeah. It's that type of night. And hey, that is absolutely A-okay. You know, sometimes we got to let loose. Sometimes we need to wind down and relax and drink no tequila. Shot. Or no. That's
That's
you.
like Tuesday.
Yes, Tequila Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, Tacos
Yep.
and Tequila Tuesday.
Yep.
You should just
That
make
makes
a day
sense.
of it. Make a day of it.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Wow, that's wonderful. I
you
love it. What's in your cup?
for sharing what's in your cup. Yes, yes. How awesome. So if you are just tuning in, my name is Lindsey Vertner, and you're watching the Happy Hour Show with my beautiful guest, the lovely Deborah Gardner. Mrs. Arizona 2020, competitive swimmer, and all kinds of things. And I know that swimming is a big part of your life. And so, excuse me. How did you get into swimming? You said that you were like a real life wedding crasher for an Olympic swimmer. Please, just explain that story because in my mind it's all over the place. So you explain it.
You got a lot in there. Well, back to the trailer story. We definitely didn't have any room to, stay indoors. So being outdoors, we ended up being swimmers, competitive swimmers, and just ended up going through all the way through college. Of course, always had the dream of being in the Olympics, which was becoming a reality back in 1980. But if you recall, back in 1980, Lindsey, I don't even think you were born yet, but back in 1980, we ended up with a boycott against Russia. So my dream was actually really crushed. It took me a while to get over that because my career in swimming was really, it was done with, and ended up in the corporate world, the hotel hospitality industry for a number of years. And then before you know it, 15 years went by, and I thought, you know what, it's time to get back in the water. And as I was getting back in the water competitively again with the master's program, a lot of the Olympians that were swimming back then were swimming with me. So it was actually kind of a deja vu kind of thing, and I just love it. So today, especially with my old body, I have found that swimming is one of the best exercises. Makes me feel so good the rest of the day. And swimming has always been a big, huge part of my life.
Nice. So I know that you are an adults learn to swim instructor, right?
Right. I teach adults because what's happened is, as you know, the rate of children drowning every summer just keeps climbing all the time. And one of the issues I have found is the reason why children are drowning is because the adults don't know how to swim and save them. Instead, they run into the house and they'll call 911 or depend on somebody else to save them. So my purpose and mission is to teach adults how to swim so that they can feel confidently to know more about the rules of the pool, the rules of what children can actually do when they're around them. And if they get in a situation where they have to save someone, they can, including themselves. So Adults to Swim is very close to my heart. I enjoy it. And it's just very refreshing to see that I can help people accomplish something that's very important.
Yeah, I love that. And that makes so much sense because I never even thought about it from that way. I mean, the logical thing is to think, oh, so they don't drown, but so they can help others, mainly minors, whenever they are drowning, they can hop in and save them versus running for help, which is wasting literally valuable time because every second counts when you're in the water.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's not one of the first things that I recommend. You always have to see if, help can come. But when it comes down to life and death, adults need to know that they got to figure out a way to save children. And sometimes it's just a matter of getting in the pool themselves or the ocean or wherever they are, a lake, to make sure that they save their loved ones.
Yes. So what advice would you give to the adult that's watching now that maybe feels like, oh, I would look silly learning how to swim. Like it's a whole bunch of kids in the class, or I just can't. Like, what advice would you give to that adult that would love to swim, but is fearful for whatever reason?
Right, exactly. And it's interesting to see that parents will put kids in lessons, but they won't take lessons. So
Mhm.
this doesn't make sense to me. I think adults need to get in those lessons with their children. That way they're bonding. That way they have something to talk about. They can, practice on the things that they're taught on other days than the lessons. I think it's a great connection because for parents to be sitting out on a lounge chair or in the house while their kids are swimming is asking for trouble.
Mm.
I'm a big advocate that we really need to push the fact that adults need to be more educated in that area. And one way to educate yourself is to experience the water yourself.
Yes, yes, I love that. So, if you are just watching and you don't know how to swim, it doesn't matter how old you are. Get out there and find some lessons.
Yep, and they're everywhere. The YMCA's all through the country, and as much as I travel, I love packing my swimsuit, my goggles, and my cap. It's real easy to pack, and I always find a YMCA somewhere while I'm on the traveling road because the hotel pools are not set up for lap swimming as much as the Ys are, and so I just go join a masters team when I'm traveling. And if
Mhm.
I can, do that, anybody can do it. It's really a confidence builder than anything else too. So I think if anybody just gives it a try, they're gonna like it. They're gonna really like it a lot.
Nice, nice. I love that. So, I hope everybody decides that they're going to learn to swim if they don't know how to swim right now. Yes, that was awesome. So I know that you have a lot of different areas that you are just doing amazing things in. So you have your competitive swimming, your speaking and training, and you're in the hospitality field, and then you're a runway model and actress. Like, how did you get into being an actress and being a model?
Well, it's been a long time coming, and it was part of my practicing when I wanted to get into the pageant world. And
Mm-hmm.
actressing is kind of like it's definitely a side thing. I enjoy doing commercial acting, where you really don't have to say any parts. You're just you're just moving. And as far as doing voiceovers is really a lot of fun. But runway modeling is the kind of modeling that I enjoy doing because I'm always moving. I like moving. I'm not a skilled. I'm just not that. I love, flaunting. I love, moving those hips. And I like to show off, the outfits that I'm able to be assigned to. And so between those two, it does keep me busy. I enjoy it absolutely. You got to enjoy what you really want to do. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, it's time for a change. And again,
Mm-hmm.
with that change, you got to go through those 4 phases. So it's really important to ask yourself, what brings joy to my life? What brings happiness to my life? And when you do that, when you're able to find out what that is, it's amazing how many different things you can do. Not that we want to multitask, because I don't believe in multitasking, but it's amazing how you'll find things to do because you'll make time, because you'll be excited to do these things. And it's always good to have diversity in your life too. And it brings a lot of different people into your life when that happens as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Yes. What would you say to that person that's viewing this show right now that is like, I don't know what brings me joy. I don't know what brings me happiness. I'm always busy serving other people and invested in my relationship or invested in my work or invested in my kids. Like, I don't even know what makes me happy anymore. What would you
Yeah.
say to that person?
Oh, that's a tough, tough question, and I'm glad you brought that to the surface here because it's it's just extremely important to actually find what that is, and the only way to do that is to just stop in your tracks, literally stop. And because there's no way you're going to be able to discover it when you have to go to work, when you have to care for your kids, when you have to, do all these other duties. But if there is a day or two or a week somewhere in your calendar where you can just sit and meditate and just be who you are and with who you are and just listen to yourself. That is one way to do it. The other one is to ask people. Ask them, what do you think brings joy to me? And they will probably say, well, your eyes just sparkle when you say this, or you just have that beautiful smile when you talk about this particular topic, like, maybe it's cooking or it's reading books, or so maybe asking someone, as if they're the reflection in a mirror to yourself. I've done that before, even with my husband, I love to get feedback of
Yes.
what he sees that I don't see. And that's part of getting a coach or a mentor that can help you see things that you cannot see. I think is very, very helpful. So that's two ways. And if you just give it a try, even if you can sit for an hour to talk to somebody or an hour by yourself, it's amazing what you can discover about yourself.
Yes, that's so true. And it's crazy that you said that, because just yesterday or the day before, I was on a call with one of my coaching clients, and she was of the mindset that, like, I don't know what I like, because whenever I don't have like work or school to do, like, I get anxious when I have nothing to do, and I'm worrying that I'm missing something. And like, how do I know like what relaxes me and makes me happy? And I was like, this is a good time where intentions, how we talked about goals earlier, this is a good time where intentions come into play, because I said, what you have to do is the night before, set your intentions for the day that you want to have for your day off. Because this was a day off that she hadn't had in a long time, and like absolutely nothing, no school, no work, no intern, nothing. And so I was like, set your intentions that you just want to relax and enjoy yourself. You only want to do the things that bring you happiness. Set your intentions before you go to bed. When you wake up, remind yourself of those intentions. Today, I have nothing to do but to relax. And when you feel yourself starting to get worked up, that you're not being busy on the go, remind yourself again of those intentions that today I have nothing to do but to relax. Whether she chose to do that by reading a book or watching TV or taking a nap, that's her choice, right? Because we all define what self-care and relaxation looks like to, each of you individually. But I think a lot of people kind of feel like that whenever they don't have something to do. They're like, oh, I can't even get quiet time to myself. And when I do have quiet time, my mind's racing.
Right. That does happen quite a bit. Is that what you do too? To just sit and be quiet in order to just kind of get, in deep with yourself?
So it depends on my mood, depends on the day, depends on what I got going on. I have different ways that like I quiet myself and kind of get in tune. It all just depends on the day to day, because with my kids and business and everything, my schedule, it's routine yet not routine at all. It's so crazy. So sometimes I like to do that by taking a nap. I'm always down for a good massage. Sometimes I like to do that by, just being quiet. Nothing's on. Like I'm just sitting here. And I'm just thinking. And I'm not doing anything. So it can vary. And I think that's important for people to know, that it doesn't always have to look the same from day to day.
Right. Very true. Everybody's got to find their own niche and their own mojo to figure that out. But those are some great ideas right there.
Yes. Yes, awesome. If you are just tuning in, make sure that you comment down below. Let us know you're watching. Share this video out. My name is Lindsey Vertner, and you're watching the Happy Hour Show with my lovely guest, Deborah Gardner. And definitely make sure you put your questions in the comments right now. I have some questions that were submitted already, but I think that this is the perfect time for
30-second hot shot. Answer the question in 30 seconds or less, or take your shot.
Yeah. 30-second hot shot. 30-second hot shot. So Deborah has 30 seconds to answer your questions. And as I mentioned, some questions were already submitted. Some of them came in through tonight. But if you want your question, because you didn't tell me anything, put it in the comments right now, and hopefully we will get to it. So let me pull up my timer. And how the game goes is that I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'll hit go on the timer, and you have 30 seconds to answer the question. And if you don't answer it in 30 seconds, you got to take a shot.
Okay.
Listen. It's a hypothetical shot. It's a hypothetical shot. It can be a shot of water. It can be a drink from your cup. You don't have to take a real shot, but it's just fun with the theme. So let's pull up the timer now.
Okay.
No, we don't want that.
How many questions is this going to
be? Well, it depends on how many more get submitted in the comments.
Okay.
Yes. So the very first question is, well, you kind of already answered this because it was, how did you get into pageants? Which you answered earlier. So I'm going to say go back and watch the replay because she talked about how she started pageants when she was 12. It was 12, right?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So the next question is, let's see. Did anyone influence you to get out of the trailer lifestyle? Go.
No, other than when my dad wrote in the newspaper about our living conditions, and the city, a lot of people in the city didn't like it, thinking, why are you bringing kids up in a trailer, which we had the best time of our lives. So again, it was other people's perception.
And you still had 5 minutes, 5 minutes. I keep saying minutes. You still had 5 seconds to spare. Y'all, I promise I haven't been taking shots. I just haven't ate my dinner yet. Look, where I go. See, look, we talked about making mistakes earlier in the show, and I just fumbled my words like 50 times in a row. I said I hadn't hate my dinner, which really I meant ate. And see, like some of you guys get crazy when you haven't had sleep. I get a little crazy when I haven't ate yet.
I hear you.
You still had plenty of time. So let me reset the timer. And yes, Cher says, shots, everybody. And she said, it's that rum. Listen, I haven't even had, I've only had like a few sips. So I haven't even drank enough to be even tipsy or anything.
Oh my goodness. That's funny. I would think the tequila would hit her faster than your rum.
Right. Look, she did say
have to watch her
instead of the rum. Yes, I never could do the hard stuff. Like I am a pansy wimpy baby drinker whenever I drink. Like I'm like, give me the not that strong stuff. Give me all the mixed drinks. And sometimes when I'm taking shots back in my party days, I would fake my shots.
Yep.
I would fake it, and then I would make a face like, oh, it's so gross. And really, I didn't drink it.
I hear you. We must have been at the same school.
Right? So the next question is, how did you get into being a voiceover actress? Go.
Well, in college, I actually got into sports broadcasting, as Lindsey mentioned earlier. And my first job was actually in the Activity Center, which is a sports arena for the Arizona State University. And I did the PA announcing, so I had the big bulky headset on. And so with 14,000 people in the audience, nobody really can see who's talking. And so I just felt like that was a voiceover type of position. And so I just got signed up on it in other places. Did I read it?
A few seconds over.
It's a long story, but it's a good question.
Yes. And you know what? Go ahead and finish that one. Shut!
What the heck, right?
Right. Go ahead and finish that one out because that was a good story. Well, and that was the last question.
It's interesting because that was, I considered that my very first speaking gig, Lindsey, because when I was an athlete, a student athlete in college, so they needed somebody they didn't have to pay. So they asked me because my dad was a basketball coach. So they thought, oh, Deborah must know something about basketball. Little did I know. So I just volunteered to do it. And turned out it was, when I walked into this activity center, there were 14,000 people because it was a big rivalry. It was called the Arizona State Sun Devils against the University of Arizona Wildcats. Two big rivalries. So the stadium was packed, the arena was packed, which scared the living daylights out of me because my voice was going to be like the voice of God over, everybody. And then on top of it, little did I know that CBS Sports was nationally televising it. So I'm like, oh my goodness, my voice is going to be heard nationwide. Well, when the official told me to start the game, I actually introduced the home team like this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Arizona State Wildcats, which happened to be the rivalry's mascot. So I had 14,000 people. All of a sudden was quiet. You could not hear a pin drop. And then after that, all of a sudden I heard, boo, boo. I mean, people were booing me and throwing Pepsi cups and popcorn at me. I mean, 14,000 people. I mean, I really bombed on my first speaking engagement. But I literally, at the age, I think I was like 19, 20, I literally crawled underneath the table because the boos were so loud, and the coach was coming over the table and just staring at me. But it wasn't until my so-called mentor boss, who actually started this whole thing for me, he came over. His name's Rich Ripley, believe it or not. He put his hand over my hand and he said, Deborah, just keep going. Just keep going. And so because of that, I came from underneath the table and I put those big bulky headsets on and I just continued the game. And before you know it, the boos subsided and on with the game. Again, another embarrassing time in my life. But and of course, the coach wanted me fired the next day, but you can't fire a student athlete that doesn't get paid. So that's the whole story behind that. And I'll never forget that experience, but I'll never forget my boss, how sweet he was to believe and support me. And that's what we need in our lives. We need people around us that can, believe and support us. And if they're not going to do that, get them out of your life. You don't need them. Clean your closet. Just get rid of them. Oh,
yes. Love them from a distance.
Believe, support, and love you.
Yes. And I love that you kept going, because I think that happens a lot of times in life, especially when we're facing obstacles or we're facing struggles. Like in the moment, the second right then, it feels like the whole world is ending. And it's like, oh no, how will I ever get out of this? But it's important to know that if we just keep going, it gets better. So that was definitely a key lesson, and I hope all the viewers took that away. If you didn't, I just recapped it for you. That was the main point. Just keep going because it gets better. And so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming on the show. And I have a question that I have to ask all of my guests here on the Happy Hour show. And this you can take as long as you like because it's a crucial question. If you know me, then you know I'm all about creating intentional happiness in your life in every moment that you can. So I have to ask every single last one of my guests, how do you intentionally create happiness in your life?
Ooh, intentionally create happiness in your life. It's all a matter of making sure you do what you want to do. You have to make sure if you come first. You have to come first. If you can't make yourself happy, again, you're not going to make other people happy. It's got to, a lot of times we do it the other way around. It doesn't work that way. You have to get up and make sure every morning to do what's going to please you. And then things will start falling into place. And it's hard to do. It's hard, especially when you have kids. But I want you to just remember, just know that you deserve to wear your crown. It's all about you wearing your crown. Even if you have to get a crown, which, by the way, Lindsey, that's what I want to share with you and your viewers, if you'd like for me to do that now. I actually have my crown here with me. Let me grab it. I was lucky to keep it with me.
Yes!
There it is.
Doesn't she look so beautiful? Yes, yes.
So, I'm thinking, which way does this go? I'm thinking you all deserve to wear a crown. You do. So, walk around your house, walk around the office, walk around other people, and even if you have to pretend you have a crown on your head, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel tons better. Just wear your crown because you deserve that. You deserve having that. And it feels good when you get to feel that way. Be good to yourself because you deserve to be happy. But you have to start from within and tell yourself that. Not too many people will tell us that. But you have to share with yourself and say, hey, I am good. I am worthy. I am the most beautiful person in the world, and I'm very proud to wear my crown.
Yes, I love that. You my daughter with because she has something called a confidence crown. And you put on your crown and you speak affirmations. And so when she's doing her confidence workshops for girls, she'll, like if it's a live one, she'll actually crown each girl with their own crown. If it's a virtual one, then she'll say, do your hands like this and put it on top of your head. And this is your confidence crown. It's just invisible. So I love that. I love that. Thank you again. Thank you again. Miss Deborah Gardner, she is an author, so make sure you go to deborahgardner.com/books to get her book. It is awesome. And again, thank you for tuning in. Oh, I have some comments over here. Woo. Yes. Cher says, I come first. I love it. Thanks, ladies. Excellent show. Great advice. Beautiful crown. You wear it well. Yes, you do. And I'm so happy to see it. Yes, you just shine with or without it.
Wear their crown.
Yes, put your crown on. Renette says, congratulations, Deborah.
We'll see what happens at nationals.
Good luck. We'll be rooting for you. Yes, yes. So thank you for tuning in to the Happy Hour show. Again, my name is Lindsey Vertner, Peak Potential Strategist and Transformational Speaker. And my beautiful guest, the Mrs. Arizona 2020, Miss Deborah Gardner, competitive performance expert and author, and just amazing woman all around, always living in the fast lane. Listen, if you want to make sure that you stay updated on future happy hour episodes, make sure you click that link right down there. Well, type it in your browser or whatever you're on. bit.ly/happy update so that you can stay updated on future episodes, special airings, and sometimes happy hour specials exclusively for those on my VIP list. Make sure you tune in this Thursday as I speak with Jen Fontanilla on 9 p.m. Eastern. On what day is that? The 10th. September 10th, tune in for another episode of the Happy Hour Show. And let's see, we have another comment. Deborah, can you come to Evansville, teach me some swim lessons?
Yeah, happy to.
Indiana. Yes. That would be awesome.
I'd love to.
What a great show. Thanks again for tuning in. Make sure you sign up for updates. Make sure you connect with my beautiful guest. Here is her information on the screen all over again. So follow her, reach out if you connect with her story, if you want to find out more information about what she's doing, if you want to cheer her on at nationals, please reach out and send her a message. And thank you for tuning again. Until next time, I will see you guys on Thursday for another episode of the Happy Hour Show. Bye.